baby, we're still stuck in this 2-bedroom apartment that wasn't even in the best neighborhood because...
Hi everybody, my name's Kaylee and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things real life and real estate. Of course, by now, if you don't know, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I'm a realtor. So I'm just here to help in all aspects. So in today's video, it's kind of gonna be like a story time. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna chit chat and I'm gonna tell you a story. Even though Halloween is over, I still have to tell this horrific horror story on how on the process of how things went when me and my husband initially tried to buy our first home. I call it a horror story because it was bad. It was just horrible. The whole experience was horrible, and had I known what I know now, things would have been different. But anyway, let's jump right into it. So let's see, what year was it? It was 2018. So 2018 when we tried to buy our first home. We went through this program. I'm not going to say the name of the program or anything like that, but just know we went through this program. There were several things you needed to do, several steps, blah, blah, blah. And so we were trying to keep up and do exactly what we needed to do to get through this program. It started off good. You know, it's a lot of paperwork. When you're buying a home, there's a lot of paperwork involved. So, you know, we had to spend a lot of paperwork. A lot of paperwork had to be completed and all of that. So, long story short, we got approved. You know, we were able to go ahead and start shopping for a home, which, you know, that process didn't take long at all. We weren't picky at that time. We knew this was going to be our first home, so we just really wanted something decent. We were staying, where were we staying? I know it had to be like a 2-bedroom apartment. We were staying in a 2-bedroom apartment. We had our daughter, who was 2 or 3 at the time. She was really little, and I was 7, you know, going into my 9th month of being pregnant again. So we were like, we gotta get a house before this baby come, and that was that. So we were not picky. You know, we knew this was a starter home for us. So we found one really nice that we liked. You know, it was in our budget. The realtor that we were working with, you know, he was a realtor, so he, you know, found the houses. It was good. We didn't have any issues with that. But so that was fine. We found the home. We went through the inspection process. That went fine and everything. So it just really came down to when the process got to another individual. Of course, I'm not gonna say any names or anything like that, but let's just say this individual sucked. There was lack of communication. You had to call, you had to email, you had to literally stay blowing this man up, and he was horrible with responding back. And so there was an issue that came up. So let's pause. So when you're buying a house, like I said, there's a lot of paperwork and there's a lot of there's a lot of documentation that you need. So specifically, you're gonna need check stubs, income, you know, verifying your income and all of that. So W-2s, that type of paperwork, tax documents. This particular program and lender had a rental verification requirement. And so they required 2 years of rental verification. So, which it wasn't an issue. We had been living in an apartment, so we were able to, for the first apartment, well, the apartment we were living in at the time, that wasn't an issue. We got a rental ledger showing that we paid on time and things like that. But the apartment we had lived in the year before that, so 2 years ago from the date from 2018, so like 2016, we had to go to them to get rental information. So we got a rental ledger. That's nothing. We paid our rent on time. That was fine. What we needed to show our rental ledger, and we needed to show bank statements. And at the time, we were young. We weren't paying out of one account. We were paying like half. We were splitting rent. So he was paying out his account. I'm paying out of my account. And so we were bringing in together. We just went and got a money order check, cashier's check, and boom, we pay our rent. So we didn't think nothing of it. Like, we didn't think that 2 years from now in 2018, when we try to get a house, that we are gonna need bank statements from showing that we paid our rent on time, even though we had a rental ledger. But I'm going a little fast, but before we even figured that part out, we couldn't even get straight answers from this guy that we were working with. Like I said, he wasn't answering our calls. He wasn't returning emails or anything like that. So he wasn't helpful at all. We were young. We didn't know what we were doing. This was our first time going through this process, going through this program that, we didn't know what we were doing. Nobody was giving us direction on this part. And that's why I just say it was so horrific and stressful. As a person who was like 8 months pregnant, I was working a very high stressful job that I actually quit in the middle of this process. I quit my job in the middle of us trying to buy a home. Originally gave us a closing date of like November 15th, November 16th, something like that. I don't remember. And so, like, knowing that in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, we'll have our keys by then. We'll be in home by Thanksgiving. I'm tired of working this job. It's stressing me out. I'm 8 months pregnant. Like, I'm in pain. I could barely walk. Like, I was not about to continue to do this. So I put my 2 weeks notice in and I quit. Which you should never do that right before buying a house. Never quit your job. Nobody gave us directions, and that was the hardest part when you're going through a home buying process and you don't have good people on your side. I didn't even want to go through the process no more. It's just like, what are we gonna do? I'm about to pop. I'm about to have this baby. We're still stuck in this 2-bedroom apartment that wasn't even in the best neighborhood because we really wanted to be cheap and save money so that we could buy our house. And that was another issue. We had money saved, but the way things worked out, the money wasn't in the account long enough, basically. So that's another thing when you're going through the home buying process. Lenders want to see seasoned money. So they want to see it sitting in your account for a period of time before you touch it or do anything like that. So a season typically is going to be about 3 months. So they want to see that it's been sitting in your account because they're going to want bank statements back, 3 months prior. So that was another issue. So our money really wasn't as seasoned as we thought it was. But had we known, we would have done that. We would have put it in our account. Like, we didn't think of that. So we ended up having to use gift money. So basically, we got a gift from family members to, put in our account. Even though we had the money, we still had to get a gift showing, that we could afford this house, basically, that we had enough money for down payment and things like that. Which was a whole nother issue that we had to find a family. Luckily, it was my sister who was able to give us a gift. It's a gift. You don't have to pay it back. But even still, we didn't close on the house. So we ended up returning her the money. So different lenders have different requirements, and had we known, we probably could have gotten into that house. But all in all, I feel like it was a blessing in disguise. It didn't meet any of our requirements or wants and needs in a house. But in 2018, we didn't really know what we wanted or needed in a house, because we just wanted a house, because I knew I was pregnant and we needed more room for this baby that we didn't even get until 2020 when we bought our house, and now she's going on 2. I tell this story because I say it was a horrific time, because we were young, we were lost, we didn't know what to do. Nobody was there to really guide or help us or provide any type of good information. So that's always my warning to people. Make sure you're going with a good lender, and make sure you're going with a good realtor, because those 2 people are going to be your guides, your everything during the process. So fast forward to 2020, I'm my own realtor. We have our money, it's seasoned, we can verify where it's coming from. This particular program didn't verify rent, so we didn't even have to worry about any type of rental ledgers or rental verification or anything like that. So that wasn't an issue. And like I said, I'm my own realtor, so I know better. I know exactly what I needed to do and to get us through that process. And we closed, no issues, good communication, and we closed within 30 days. That's my horror story. My lesson for everybody who is going through the process, who may feel a little lost or discouraged. Just know it might feel hard. The process is stressful. But just keep going, because there is going to be, you're going to reach your goal. You're going to get your home. And it's all in timing, God's timing, basically. This can be a really smooth process, y'all. It is not even that hard, honestly. It's not that hard. Once you have your money saved, your documents in order, and everything, you can, on-time payments, credit score good, all of that. Once you can meet those requirements, make sure you have everything in line, you can close with no issues in less than 30 days. 30 days to 45 days, I would say. 30 to 45 days. Depending on how long it takes you to find your house now. That's a whole other different video. But yes, it could go so smooth that you be like, oh, well, why does everybody make this seem so hard? Like, what's the issue? Thank you all for watching. If you learned anything from this video, comment below and let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share with y'all your friends, your mama, your auntie, and your cousins. And also, if you're in the Central Arkansas area, I'll have my information linked below so that you can contact me if you are ready to start that home buying process. All right, bye.